Consumers are always in the best position to know when they're heading for financial problems, but generally they're the last to take the action, or they delay the action. Now, there's a number of reasons why consumers end up in a position like that. The first one is that there's an emergency, they have to actually pay for that. There's some unplanned expenses like car breakdown or a funeral that you have to pay. Thirdly, it could be simply because there's unplanned expenditure in terms of that you haven't budgeted for. And lastly, I think the fact that consumers simply have too much debt to repay on a monthly basis. Now, how do you end up in that situation? I think we all have emergencies, and it's good to actually take out a loan to actually settle that emergency. But the problem is when that emergency is over and the loan has to be repaid, the worst thing that you can do is to take out another loan to settle the existing loan. Very often consumers take out another loan and there's a false sense of security that they've solved the problem. In fact, the opposite is true. They haven't solved the problem, they just made it worse. And that's where we start with a debt spiral for individuals. And what we normally say to consumers in that position is that it's fine to take out debt. When your debt repayments is less than 35% of your monthly take-home pay, it's unlikely that you'll be in trouble. But what you have to do is say, I have a debt, let's actually plan to repay it, or and when I'm in a situation where it's tight, do not run to take out another loan. Rather make a plan to settle the existing loan. Let me give you an example of how to do that practically. I have a loan, I'm battling to repay it, but I also have DSTV, and it cost me 600 or 700 Rand a month to actually rent that DSTV. There's nothing wrong with suspending the DSTV for 6 months, repay the loan, close the account, move on, problem solved. And that's the early action that we're saying. Instead of actually running to find out how we can actually take another loan, take an action to say, let's solve the problem now. Early action is always the best action to take. It's about 70% easier when you take early action.